Hey Lily, what's going on? What do you have here? Have you been chewing on my games again? Oh no. Lily, what the hell? You took my Halo 3, you put it in this disgusting white case. All right. Where's the green case? Everything's all over the place. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, Lily. Lily, I'm gonna have to get a new disc. Why'd you do this? Seriously, dog, why'd you do this? What is wrong with you? First you're taking all my Wii U games for some video, and now you're breaking my 360 games. Now you look away. Alright, I know some people might be upset that I shaved my dog into that fakingly, so it's all good. We're gonna make it up to her by giving her one of her favorite stinky treats. Lily, sit for this. Can you take it gently? Oh, that was alright. There you go. You enjoy it now. There you go. Focus. There we go. Alright, let's get on to the tutorial. Hey, what is going on everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and today I'm going to be showing you all how you can fix your discs with the JFJ Easy Pro like we have right here. Now, I'm going to be showing you this because I want to make this for two audiences. One, for people who might be interested in getting one of these machines, they want to know the process and what I use to fix these discs and such. And two, for the people who were like me, who got one of these and were disappointed in the results. You kept getting discs that had swirls on them, or they still didn't look that good, or they looked okay, or maybe they even looked good, but then they stopped working, versus they were working okay beforehand. I'm going to show you my method as to how I do this and the things I use and all that stuff. So first of all, I'm going to be using a DVD-based game. This is Halo 3. For the Xbox 360, before anyone screams at me for mishandling the disc and touching it all over the place and all that stuff, first of all, look at it, alright? Look at it. I'm going to try and get it in a better light here, but this thing is nasty. It's scratched up. Second, I rescued it from a thrift store, okay? And I'm about to fix it, so it's in a better life here than it would have been in another home, I feel like, so it's okay. Some smudges are going to be fine. If I'm sitting here and, etching it with a knife, then that's going to be more of an issue. But anyways, using this machine, I've been able to fix up mini games that didn't work too well. I've been able to fix up discs that just stopped reading at certain points. There's actually been a couple games where I tested them by, they had, the circular scratches on them from the 360. I tested installing them. They failed to install. Fixed them with this thing. Tried to install them. They installed 100%. That's, first off, the method I would use to test your games or your discs, whatever you're doing. So if it's like a music CD or a DVD or a game of some kind, try and rip it 100% afterwards. And do that with your first 5 or 10 rips until you get into a groove where you can make sure every single one is ripping over 100%. For some systems that might be harder than others, but as I said, the Xbox 360 has an install feature right on it. PS1, 2 games, you can just copy them with your computer, and then CDs, DVDs, you can do the same thing as well too. So we're going to try and install this game afterwards, which we'll see if it works. I think it might even work right now, but either way, we're going to make it look a lot prettier. But also, as I said, because I want to make this for a few people who have the JFJ Easy Pro already, if you're a person who you've had games that have stopped working from this, I've seen no one talk about it. No one has talked about this. I have worked on several discs where they were okay before and they stopped reading after I used this thing despite them looking good. I've been able to re-resurrect them. So this is how it all works here. Alright, so first of all, you are going to need a few things here. Now, this machine is going to come with the machine itself. It's going to come with the nut to put the disc on here, which I will do that already. So you just pop the disc on, like so. You take the nut, you make sure you screw it on. Make sure it's tight enough, it's not going to go anywhere. That's it. Don't worry about it afterwards. And then it's going to come with some sandpaper pads, and it's going to come with some foam pads as well too. It's also going to come with these rubbing compounds, which I hate how they are numbered, because this one is number 1, but you're supposed to use it after you use number 2. That makes no sense to me, but since this disc is pretty bad, we're going to use some sandpaper on it. So you're supposed to go coarse, soft, number 2, number 1. That's the order you're supposed to go. On top of that, you're also going to need some of this stuff. Not necessarily the anti-static spray cleaner, because I exhausted this, but you can just fill this with water. Before this, I was cleaning my games with, lukewarm or cold water and some soap, and they were fine. So I mean, just use water, they'll be okay. Just don't be trying to scratch them any further and you'll be alright. You should also use the microfiber cloth that came with this, or you can use your own, whatever you want to do on that. But one thing I do want to tell you all right off the bat here, this stuff here, this junk, it's kind of junk. I know if you did buy this, you might be a little bit upset because you spent like 150 bucks on this and you don't want to buy more stuff. But I'm just saying, this stuff is, it's okay. Alright, it's okay. I will give it that. What you should do, what you really should do, is you should get some of this. This is some car polish right here, but trust me, one, it smells lovely. It has a light cinnamon fragrance to it, so you're going to have a very aromatic experience. When you switch over to this stuff and you're fixing up your games, it's going to be beautiful, it's going to smell nice. Secondly, it works better than the stuff that you get right here. Plus, you can get a lot more of it. Like, you can get it like in bulk, like in a giant thing like this, and when you math it all out, it's actually cheaper to get this stuff that works better, and you're going to spend less time buffing your discs, and it's going to smell nicer. So it's win-win-win overall to me. I'm going to have these linked down below in the description, but you're going to want to get this ultimate compound, and this is going to replace your number 2. So the white one right here, you're going to use the compound in its place. The blue one right here, this is number 1, you're going to have to use the polish in its place. Again, I'm going to have these links down below. They are awesome. They smell wonderful. They work better than the stuff that JFJ provides or that you can purchase yourself. But this is absolutely what I'd recommend. If you don't want to use it or you're just using the number 1 and 2 bottles right now, that's fine as well too. You can still follow along with this, but I'm telling you, if you spent the money to get this thing, you should spend the extra money and drop it on these 2 compounds right here. The ultimate compound and the ultimate polish. Get these, they're great. I'm done harping on about it now at this point, so let's get into actual fixing. Alright, so here, this is how everything should look in the inside. Now, yours is probably going to be a bit cleaner if you haven't used this before. I've been working on discs here, and this stuff you can just take a paper towel and rub it all around and get all that stuff out. But either way, you want to take your pad that has the coarse stuff affixed to it, the coarse sandpaper, kind of just press it in. That's all you need to do. Now this is going to be for your bad or your deep scratches overall. I'm going to run this for, I normally run it for about a minute, or even 20 seconds and then 10 seconds. However, since this Halo 3 is pretty gnarly, I'm going to run it for a minute. So all you need to do is close it up and run it for a minute. To anybody wondering about the timing, here on the front you got 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. It's easy as pop it down, make sure these 2 click in, press whatever time you want. And wait. Alright, so once this minute is over, you're going to pop your disc out and you might be appalled because it's going to look milky and there's going to be a million scratches on it. It's going to look worse than before, trust me. And let me see if I can show you this at all. That's about the best I'm going to get it there. I might even be able to shine a light on it. And let's see what I can do. Something like that. But as you can see, a million swirly scratches all over it. It does not look that nice. Now, what I would recommend you do is kind of look carefully at the disc and see if you could find any of the original scratches, anything that sticks out. If there's anything that's sticking out, it's going to be kind of tough to get out there. And you might have to run it again. You might just have to do all this cycle, you know, like once the video is over, just redo this. But either way, I'm going to trust this, and I will say, you know, that 1 minute was fine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to apply the soft sandpaper, and I'm going to run that for, you can run that for 10 or 20 seconds, even 30 if you want to. By 30, I normally do like 20 and then 10. I'm going to run it for 20 seconds. Alright, now I just ran this for 20 seconds on soft. I'm going to shine the flashlight on it again. As you can see, still super scratched up. And it's not supposed to look any better. I mean, we are sandpapering the disc right here. But again, just kind of try and see if you can find any of the original scratches. And if you can't, that's good. Now what we're going to do is we are going to end up using the compound or the number 2 white polish that you got. I'm going to be referring to it as the ultimate compound because that is what I am using. So now you need to get one of your buffing pads. The foam buffing pads, that is. I need to specify that. I'll show you. Alright, so to do this here, all you need to do is remove your sandpaper pad like so. Now you're going to need to get one of these foam pads. Now yours is probably all nice and pristine and all that stuff, and it's probably going to need some burn-in time, so to speak. As you can see, mine is all worn down because I've used this quite a bit. So first of all, what I would recommend you do is, before you use this, take some of your water and spray a few spurts onto this here. So just like 4. That's even being generous there, but I normally do 3 or 4 spurts. And then you want to take your compound that you're going to be using. And what I've noticed works the best, if I don't spill it everywhere, is kind of just getting like 5 or 6 drops all around here. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. I know it's not even, but it's fine. It'll still work out. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, I just use the cap of what this came in to spread it. So you kind of want to make sure this spreads in to out. Make sure you're doing it on all of these here, and I've seen several people, what they do is they use their finger to spread this. I don't like doing that. I don't want to put, you know, my oils and stuff all over the pad here. So I prefer to use some type of plastic thing. You could probably just even, you know, keep a plastic spoon on the side and just use it for that. Next time you go and get some food, just take one of the plastic spoons with you and use it exclusively for resurfacing if you don't have this. But either way, you want to get it looking something like that. And now, what I'm going to do, let me remove the light, is I'm going to close this up and I'm going to run it. So we've got it wet. We've got it all set up with the compound, and I'm going to run this for 2 minutes. Now, this step is going to remove the scratches. It's going to start, you know, polishing them out and removing them. And normally you can't really overdo it with this step, which is the nice thing, so I'm going to run it for 2 minutes. So far, right off the rip, this has been 2 minutes, and look at how much shinier it looks here. It looks great. It's no longer, you know, that milky, like 1 million scratches, but it's still going to be kind of dirty, and I'm going to be honest, I can see... let me kind of anchor it there. I can still see at least 1 scratch from before, which I could have gotten rid of if I ran the sandpaper even further, but you know, it's all good. For the most part, the disc is looking nicer, aside from it just having, you know, polish all over it, or compound here. What I'm going to do, though, just for extra measure, I'm going to run it for another minute or 2. I'll just do it for another 2 minutes. One thing I do want to say, though, about the ultimate polish and ultimate compound versus the regular stuff that JFJ gives you is I've noticed that with the JFJ stuff, you can't... I don't have as good of luck when I keep running it, you know, for 2 minutes at a time. I notice with that, I more have to kind of like just restart the process all over sometimes. While as this, you know, the better stuff, the stuff for cars here, I've noticed that there's times where if a game's just not working or disc is not working, I just put it in without using the sandpaper. I could just do the compound and the polish and I'll be good. But either way, just for extra measure, I'm going to run this for another 2 minutes. So what you want to do is do the exact same thing, is just spray. This time you could spray 2 or 3 times as water, put, you know, 4, 5, or 6 dots all around them, spread them on, and then resurface your game for a minute or 2. All right, and I'm going to get one more look at this here. And there we go. That is looking wonderful. It's looking shiny, and I'm not seeing really any scratches on here. I see like 1 right there. Maybe another one, but either way, those really aren't going to be affected all too bad. Again, if you have any scratches that you just want completely gone, redo this, just do more sandpaper. Getting those like really deep scratches, the sandpaper is going to be important. But then to get rid of all the little swirls and stuff and any circular scratches, you know, you're going to have to polish quite a bit. But if it's something really deep, you're going to have to sandpaper. You just have to do that. So now that that is complete, we're now going to work with the polish, because this disc is done essentially. However, you might have some swirls and all that stuff, and that's one thing I do want to mention. Your discs might have, you know, little swirly scratches all over them, and you're kind of going to need to get a feel for what's going to work and what won't work. I'm going to try and show you my best on here at least, but even so, this disc might have a few. We'll see, but you're just going to need to, you know, get a feel for it as well too. Alright, so it's going to be the same process here. You just need to remove this pad, because you're going to be using separate pads. And then take your other foam pad. Now, if you just got one of these, you really haven't done this yet, you might be wondering, why is this blue all over? This is white. This is a white pad. However, because I have used it for the polish, the number 1 mix, it's turned blue, and that's fine. But you're going to do the same thing here. So just take a few spurts of water, just like I'm going to spray like 4 times. Something like that, and then all you need to do is take your polish or your number 1 solution and kind of just do the same thing, like 5 or 6 drops overall, something like that. So there's 1, 2, 3. These are also a lot bigger than I'm normally doing, but it's all good. I just do 5 like that. All right. One thing I'd also recommend, just keep like a rag or a paper towel nearby or something just to clean some things off. That's what I recommend doing at least. And then just do the same thing here. So kind of take this and rub it. Just like so. Now, I have seen some recommendations where the other one is you can put like a quarter dot on one side and a quarter dot on the other. I did that, and the reason why I don't really recommend it is because you end up wasting a lot of this stuff if you do it that way. Because as soon as you spin this thing up, a ton of the compound goes all over the sides, and if it's on the sides of the machine, it's not going to touch your disc at all. So that's why it's a pretty big waste there in my opinion. But now that that's done, it's well enough, I'm going to close this thing up, and I'm going to run this for 2 minutes. I would generally say, however long you ran your number 2, like your compound for, run the polish for maybe like half that time. So I'm going to run this for 2 minutes, and we'll see how it works. Alright, so now this is done. It's been 2 minutes with the polish, and I'm going to shine the light on it again. As you can see, I mean, it's not looking clean because it's a waxy mess, but the parts that don't have too much wax on them or too much of this polish are looking immaculate on here. So what we're going to do now is you need to remove the disc off of here and you need to clean it. So let's go ahead and commence that. So for this portion here, what you need to do is kind of just hold onto the disc and remove the nut. It might take some force, but once you do that, go ahead and put the nut over to the side. And what I normally do is I take a paper towel and I just clean the label side well enough because some of the polish and the compound has probably gotten on here. If you want to, you can also clean this with water, but I normally just, do a quick clean of the edges at minimum with my paper towel. Now, all you need to do is flip this thing over. Now take your water or your anti-static cleaner. Again, this was anti-static cleaner, and then I just replaced it with water. It's fine, alright guys, it's fine. There. Spray it with a few spurts. That's more than a few, but then just take your microfiber cloth and gently clean your disc. So, something like that. If you're having any issues with this coming off, you can just apply more liquid to this, which it looks like I'm going to do right here. There we go. This stuff can get thick, so just be careful. But either way, I also notice you don't really want to go too crazy at this part here, just because you can end up, lightly scratching your disc again, funny enough. So something like that I think is good. I actually have like a few scratches I can see. Oh, and I touched it accidentally, but either way, I'm going to try and get that the best I can here. Hopefully you all can see it well enough, but that disc to my eyes is looking at least 10 times better. I do see one scratch right there. I don't know how well you all can see it, but I do see one scratch on the disc. And I see like some tiny marks here and there, but overall I don't even think the swirliness is that bad on here. So let me go ahead, shine my flashlight on it, and there you go. So that's about it. There is one thing I do want to show you that you cannot repair though. So I do want to give you all one piece of advice over some discs that you might not be able to repair. This is a copy of MotoGP 2 for the PS2 that I was going to fix up. And as you can see right here, it has these top scratches. These two here and these two, they're not as easy to find, but they're kind of under the Namco logo right there. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because this machine nor any other machine can ever fix these scratches. Those are surface scratches, and that is actually where the data is at. It is in a microscopic layer underneath the... the data is not down here. The data is up top, but it's in a layer that is underneath the label itself. But if the label is scratched up, most likely that data is gone. And the best way to do this is to hold it up to a light. However, I don't really want to blind you all by showing this to one of my light bulbs, so I'm actually going to just demonstrate this with my phone. So here I have the disc, and if I do this, as you can see, check that out. You can clearly see two lines right there. And if I do it on the other side, you can see a line right there. That is data that is gone. That cannot be repaired. So yeah, you can make this disc look prettier, but this disc is not even worth repairing simply because the data has been removed, physically removed from the disc. So that's just an example of what you cannot fix with this machine or any other machine. And I just wanted you all to be aware of that. All right, so as you can see, we have our copy of Halo 3 right there. Let me go ahead, close this up. Let's come over here and wait for this to read. And I can hear it churning, and there we go. Play game, play Halo 3. And again, what I'm going to do to test this is just install it 100%. If it does that install 100%, then we'll be good. And it is spinning up, so now I'm just going to wait. Again, if you have like a music CD or a DVD or a PS1 or 2 game or something else, use your computer to fully rip it over. I mean, what you can do, which I see a lot of people do, is they just pop the game in and try and see if it works. And that's fine as well too, although in my opinion, I mean, there could be something wrong 50 or 60% of the way into the game or the disc itself. So my advice is to, when you're getting everything dialed in, when you feel pretty confident with this, make sure you can fix and 100% read over 10 or 15 discs, and then you should be good to go. You should have your formula and your flow down. But again, I do want to harp on this one more time if you all will allow me. This stuff right here, the Ultimate Polish and the Ultimate Compound, amazing. It smells nice. When you're buying it in a big tube like this, it actually costs less than the JFJ stuff, and it's more effective. The JFJ stuff, the number 2 compound and the number 1 compound, just if you got it supplied to you, awesome, but if not, then just when it's time to refill it, use this stuff right here. That is what I can recommend. Alright, so as you can see, we are getting to near the end of Halo 3. Now, just for full disclosure, I did try to install it, and I tried it twice, and each time it failed at 27%. So what I did was the process I just showed you all. I just replicated that. I did it one more time, cleaned up the disk, popped it in. I was able to get past that 27%. So that's a tip to you all as well too. Just in case, it doesn't hurt to spend more time on your discs, but just in case you get something and it's going to air out like that, run it through again and try it and then make sure it works. But as you can see, game installation 100% complete. So I'm going to press OK on that. Let me eject this here. And as you can see, same disc, all that good stuff. So yeah, and it's looking all nice and clean. Lovely. Happy about that now. So that is how you can fix up your discs with the JFJ Easy Pro. Some people might be asking, can I just clean up my discs? Well, you can, but that's going to clean them and not repair them. You kind of want to get rid of the scratches. Some people might ask about disc doctors or toothpaste or skip doctors. All of those methods are garbage, flat out garbage. I've been a proponent of this for years, and I have said the only way to fix up your discs is to use a resurfacing machine of some kind. And I have to say, for about $150 or so, the JFJ Easy Pro does a pretty nice job. So at this point, we do have our verified working 100% copy of Halo 3. I'm not going to swap out the case or anything else because, as I said, I'm not too worried about it. I spent a few bucks at this at a thrift shop. It has been repaired, and I would say that is a successful thrift shop rescue. So if you enjoyed this video, hopefully it helped out. A like would absolutely be appreciated. If you didn't like it, a dislike is fine as well too. But now, what am I going to do with this spare copy of Halo 3? I know what I'm going to do. Hey Lily, guess what? You've got your very own copy of Halo 3. You don't even look that happy about it. Alright, fine. Fine.